Hi there, it's Andy Henderson. How are you all? Today, on this lovely Monday, this is Sherpa Guidance episode 43, and I'm your Sherpa Guide. So, in this live, I want to be sharing with you just who am I? Who is Andrew Henderson, and why should you care? Because some of you have just joined the community recently, and you haven't got a clue who I am. You just see this guy doing the lives, getting emails sent out with loads of value in and stuff, and I just honestly, I want to genuinely help you understand who the guy is, who is Andy Henderson, the Sherpa Guide, and how did he come to be. So I'm going to share with you a bit of my journey about, where I've been in the past. And on Wednesday, I'm going to share with you exactly what I'm doing now. And then on Friday, I'm going to share with you exactly what the future looks like for me. And I hope you enjoy it. So who is Andy Henderson? So Andy Henderson, well, where do I start? Do I start when I was a little baby? No, I'm going to start with my career stuff. So Andy Henderson, I went to school, I went to secondary school in Burnley for about a year and a half. And through that journey in school, it was apparent that the school that I was with wasn't doing what I needed it to do for me. So my grandparents, being quite wealthy, they yoinked me out of there and they sent me to private school in Blackburn. So I ended up going to Queen Elizabeth Grammar School in Blackburn, which, back in the 90s was a really, really good school. So started off there and went through school. I wasn't particularly academic, but I enjoyed the school. I enjoyed the people and I enjoyed the way they teach because they looked after us like adults, which was great, and they treated us like adults. We all had a voice and they cared about us, and it was really, really good school. And I left there, I went to sixth form in Burnley, but I didn't stay there long. I thought, I'm not wasting my time on more education. I want to get my hands dirty. I want to get out into the world. So I left college after 6 weeks, and didn't really have an idea or a clue of where I wanted to be, what I wanted to do. So I had left college and I sat at home for a bit, hoping that the world would present me a job. And anyway, it did. It came knocking at the door. A friend of mine said, Andrew, do you want a job in IT? Or do you know anyone who wants a job in IT? And I was like, I have a job, I need a job. So I went and took that job, and I earned about £59.70 a week when I first started work, and loved it. I absolutely loved it to bits. Anyway, after about a year, I got poached from there by a company in Burnley called Burnley Computer Centre. I started work at Burnley Computer Centre. I doubled my salary by moving jobs. It was amazing. I went from like £2,500 a year to like £6,000 or £7,000 a year. It was mind blowing. And did well there, and then got yoinked out of Burnley Computer Centre and brought into Landway. And Landway at the time was turning over about £1 million revenue. It was a B2B IT company. So I ended up going over there, working in the returns department, returning all the faulty equipment, all the faulty products and all the faulty hardware and components, hard drives and printers and stuff. And I really enjoyed it because I was curious. That was one of my key character traits, I think, when I started my career in work. I was really curious, and I got my fingers in everything, like sales. How did sales work? How did the finances work? How did the relationships work with distribution and our vendors? And I progressed through the ranks. I ended up with a team of people. I ended up running sort of warehousing and stock control and purchasing, as well as the returns function as well. And we started to grow reasonably rapidly. And the thing that I was doing was I was buying more stuff at a better price, which enabled the sales guys to sell more and make more margin as well, which was great. And that helped us really, really grow. And this is probably in year 2000, something like that, 2001. And then my boss took me aside. He said, look, Andrew, I want to knock off some of them spiky edges you've got, because you're pissing a lot of people off and you're getting involved in everything. But I really like it, but you're just doing it like a bull in a china shop. He said, so I want you to get some professional education. I want you to do a degree level course in procurement. And then when you start learning that stuff, I want you to then apply that learning to the business. So I jumped at the chance, going, almost back to education and doing a degree in something that I was actually doing as a job. I thought, yeah, that would be really good. So I embarked on this degree course for 3 years, and it was bloody hell. 3 years of private tuition at the Duncan House with Dr. David Jones teaching me all about procurement. So I did that, and that was excellent. And I was applying the stuff that I learned to the job. And, when I was doing that, I was growing as a person, I was growing as an individual, and the business was growing too. And I got invited very shortly after, when I passed that degree, I got invited to join the board of directors in Landway as commercial and operations director. Again, amazing. I was about 26 years old. The business was probably turning over about £8 million. And I was a director and shareholder of a big business, which was great being so young. And we just carried on growing. We hired some great people. We carried on growing. But eventually we hit a glass ceiling. We hit a limit to our growth. We got from 8 million to 15 million, and we were doing some amazing things. But then the recession hit us, and the business started going backwards. So much so, after 3 years, 15 million to 14 million to 13 million, the owner threw the business at me, said, well, see if you can do any better, Andrew. And I relished the opportunity because I'm a great believer in setting goals. So, when I was commercial director, I wanted to be MD. When I was MD, I wanted to own the business. Hi, Ben. Just telling you about my background so that people know actually who I am. So nice to see you here, because there's so many people in the community now that don't have a clue who I am or what my background is. And what on earth gives me the credibility to tell people and show people and how to grow their businesses, right? So, the business was going backwards, and the boss threw the business at me. He said, crack on, Andrew, see if you can do any better. It wasn't the glitzy, glamorous affair of being promoted. It was basically, the business is doing shit, I don't know what to do, Andrew, you have a crack. And in my first year, it was the worst year as MD in my life. I believed I could do it. I really believed that I could do this, but I was failing. And after that first year, I managed to take a £13 million business that was failing to a £12 million business that was failing even worse. And I felt sick. It was the 7th of January 2013, 7 minutes past 9 in the morning. And I sat in my office after Christmas, and I had my head in my hands. I was tired. I was stressed. I felt sick. I was failing. I needed help. And I didn't know what to do. I just did not know what to do. And I thought that I had 3 options: either get fired from a 15-year career, 16-year career, leave a 16-year career, or check into hospital, because I couldn't imagine feeling any worse the next day and still surviving to tell the tale. So it was a bad time. But on that same day, me and the FD, Sarah, we got together and we talked really emotionally and really truthfully about where we were at in business. And we hit some epiphany moments right then. Hi Gordon, how are you? Nice to see you. I'm just telling people my backstory about who I am and what gives me the right to be able to coach and help other businesses. So I'm now sort of in January 2013. I've had the worst year in business of my life. I'm MD of a failing business, and sat there with my FD going through all this stuff. And we had some epiphany moments about where we were at. And what we did at that point is we understood that we were trying to tell everyone what to do in the business. We were trying to act as if we had all the answers. In reality, we didn't have any. So we went out to all the people in the business and said, what do you think? What do you think we should do to grow this business? What do you need in order to be a better person, to be developed in the right way for us to achieve our goals? And at that point, we didn't have any business goals. Our goal was to grow. It was just to grow, and that goal of growth is perpetual. It never ends. It's like hamster wheel effect. It leads to stress, burnout, and all sorts of problems. You need clear goals. You need a clear, compelling vision of the future, but we didn't have that. So and that's what our staff, that's what our people said to us. We don't know where we're going, Andrew. We don't know how we're getting there. We don't know why we're here. We're just doing a job, getting paid at the end of the month, and that's it. And that's why the business wasn't performing. So very quickly, we took that information from all our people that shared it with us, and we started to build and understand what we wanted the future to look like of our business. So we created goals. We created a compelling vision of the future. We created belief so that all the people were working together collectively to move and travel in the same direction. Like instead of having 72 people all rowing in different boats all over the place, we had all the people in one boat with a coxswain, and we were all rowing with synchronicity, power and momentum towards one place. We communicated this regularly with the people, and all of a sudden everything started to change. Like the culture changed, the performance changed, the beliefs changed, the attitudes changed, everything evolved and developed. And really quickly we went from £12 million to 14.6 million to 19 million to 24.6 million in revenue over the next 3 years, and profitability shot up, and we doubled the size of the business. We doubled the size of the business with 10 times profitability, and we did that with 20% less employees, which was amazing. We went from 72 employees to 48, but we went from £12 million to 24.6. It was absolutely amazing. And at that point, I really wanted to buy the business, but it didn't work out. I met a wonderful guy called Carl, who's a great friend of mine. Just serendipitously, really, he'd left a great career in HP. He was the head of mergers and acquisitions for Hewlett-Packard, a neighbour of mine. And he was now helping people with mergers and acquisitions. So met up with him, tried to buy the business. The boss didn't sell it to me. He wanted too much money. And in the end, after due diligence, he got basically what I offered for the business, which was disappointing. But by that point, the board was acting all pretty much horrendously, because it was a very fraught time, very stressful time for us all. And at that point, I didn't want the business anyway. So I stayed on with the acquiring business for about 6 months. Excuse me. And that wasn't very good. I didn't enjoy that. It wasn't for me. So I left that business and I set up on my own. And this was like 3 years ago. And you know, in that first year, I set up being a consultant, generally consulting, generally helping local businesses grow. And I really enjoyed it. But after about a year of earning good money, of working 4 days a week for 3 or 4 different businesses, really good businesses, I just got to a point where I was like, is this it? Is this the extent of what I can achieve? You know, earning X and working 4 days a week. I couldn't scale it because people were just paying for my time with money. And I thought, this isn't right. It doesn't feel right. I needed to find my thing. So I embarked on this journey of going to a retreat in Brighton. I went to a psychology masterclass locally at a great place called the Sanctuary of Healing. And I did all these different things just to try and learn more about myself and what I wanted out of life and where I wanted to be. And I couldn't just work it out. I couldn't find my thing. Excuse me. What was my thing? What was my thing that I was going to deliver value into the world with? And it wasn't for a year. It was like the 31st of August 2018. It was a Friday morning. I woke up and I knew something was coming because I could feel it the night before. I thought, just let it come out. Just let it come out. And anyway, I woke up in the morning and I drew a map. I drew the destiny map. And I've got a picture of it here. I think I have anyway. Hang on. Have I got it? I usually carry it around with me everywhere. Where's my bloody map? Hang on. I've got it. Here it is. Here is the destiny map. So I drew that 31st of August 2018. And you can see actually the final version behind me. There it is. And it was that day that was going to change my life forever. Because when I'd written that map, when I'd drawn that map out, I said to my wife, Jenny, I'm going to stop working now. I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing because I believe I've found my purpose. I believe I've found the thing that I'm going to create and build that's going to make the world a different place. So why did I think that? Well, when I wrote the map out and when I drew it, I could feel every component of every part of my life journey, the work that I did at Landway, the terrible time I went through as MD and the lessons that I learnt there, the lessons that I learnt when we changed the business and evolved it and created a great culture. Hi, Gabriella. In fact, it was Gabriella Corrigan here. It was Mick, Gabby's husband, that came into Landway to help us with our growth plans. And if it wasn't for Mick, we wouldn't have actually grown this business to such an extent that we did. So when I was doing the map thing, I remembered the stuff that Mick taught us. I remembered the stuff that caused me pain that we actually got through. I remembered the retreat that I went to in Brighton. I remembered the psychology course that I went to at the Sanctuary of Healing. And everything, when I was designing the map, it just came in and I thought, this is it. Because all my experiences have combined together to create this, what is now known as the Destiny Map, which over 300 businesses have used to help them grow their businesses. So at that point I thought, right, I said to the wife, I'm not working anymore. I'm sorry, I'm going to take whatever length of time off to build this as a program so I can teach it. So at that point, on the 31st of August, I started on a journey that I never looked back on. I started to write scripts for all the work I was going to do, for all the videos I was going to record, for the actual program. So I ended up writing 120,000 words of script. Now that's a lot of words. That's a book. I wrote a book in 3 months. And I wrote that and I developed about 2,000 electronic assets, 900 or so PowerPoint slides. And I went through this in detail. I was working from 4 a.m, 5 a.m. in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. I did this for 3 or 4 months. And once I'd done it, I was absolutely relieved. I built the program. But the funny thing was, I hadn't a fucking clue whether it was going to work or not. Because all I'd done is designed it. I didn't know if it was going to work. I believed it would because it's all my experiences and how we turned a failing company into a massively successful one really quickly. But I thought, shit, what am I going to do? So I then went out and tested it with 5 or 6 different businesses. And the results were absolutely amazing. Carl Allen at Ninja, massively worked for him. Within 15 months of testing it with me, he'd doubled the size of his business and sold it for millions of pounds. You know, the Sales Geeks, who some of you know, they were my first ever customer. They didn't pay me in terms of money, but we paid each other in time. They did it. They took a chance on me and they've never looked back. There were 2 people at that point. They've now got 16 people working in that business 2 years later. Absolutely phenomenal mission those guys are on. That's Richard Few and Jonathan Finch. And, I tested it with 1 or 2 others. The results were just amazing and I thought, I've got something here. So on the 14th of January 2018, which was Valentine's Day, I did my first paid course with Gav Roper, Emma Astley, Pete Sims, Luke Scar, so many great people took a chance on me. They paid me money to get delivered something that was relatively untested, untried. It was tested a little bit, but not too much. But they all had, again, amazing time with me. I really enjoyed working with them. And it grew from there. Hi, Paul, how are you? And it grew from there. I'm telling everyone my backstory, where I've been and what gives me the right to help educate other business owners on how to grow their business. So you're about halfway through now. So I created this program, delivered it, started, and that was it. So like 2 years ago, the journey started, and it was hard. It was really hard because it's not like I created a plumbing business or a sales coaching business or a building business or a dentist or whatever, because there's already pre-existing demand for those things in the marketplace. I created something brand new. There was no demand for it. So first of all, I had to educate people. I had to educate people on what it is that I did, what it is that I do, what the result was that I delivered. And it took ages, and the business wasn't working right, and I couldn't get enough orders coming in, I couldn't get enough inquiries, and I was just sat there thinking, bloody hell, what am I going to do? Then I met this guy called Dan Elson, who's my digital guy now, and Dan is amazing. 18 months ago I met Dan, and Dan helped me understand the power of digital marketing and helped me understand the power of really understanding your dream customer and why we should focus on serving those people and no one else. He helped me understand the power of creating a singular marketing message that will attract and get the attention of your audience. He helped me understand all these things, and we started to then build the business and started to run organic campaigns, to run paid ad campaigns. And since then, it's been a whirlwind. I truly feel I'm on purpose. I truly feel I'm on the right path, because there was one thing that I never mentioned. When I finished my corporate career back at Landway, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no idea what I wanted to do in my life. I fell into consultancy because it was just easy and there was demand there. But all the time I was searching for something, the thing that I was going to do. And what I ended up doing is, because Pendle Hill, which is local to where I live in the Pennines in Lancashire, in East Lancashire, it has a really big draw for me, because I remember going up it a lot when I was younger with my grandparents and my parents and stuff. And when I used to wake up in the morning in my old bedroom on Fairways Drive near Glenview, I could see a clear panoramic view of Pendle Hill right in front of me across the valley. And when I left my full-time career trying to search for who I was and what I was going to do in the world, I kept just going for walks up Pendle for inspiration. And there was one of these walks when I was coming down, actually. I had this sudden thought that, running a business is like climbing a mountain. In fact, life is like climbing a mountain. We've got to make sure that mountain is our mountain, that we're climbing it for our reasons, to get to where we want to be in the future. Not to get somewhere else where they want to be, but to get where we want to be. And, when we climb a mountain, it's bloody hard work. We get halfway up there. We feel sick, and we feel tired, we feel stressed, and we feel out of breath. And we want to come back down, and because we've done enough. But then something stops us, and something says, stay focused, keep going. The pain will stop sometime soon. And in order to get that feeling going, you really need to understand and resonate with what's at the top of the mountain. When you're walking up Pendle, or when you're walking up any mountain, it's a bit boring when you get halfway. It's like, bloody hell, I've done a lot of work, I'm sweating, yeah, I've had some exercise and stuff. But nothing's going to prepare you for the feeling that you get when you get to the top. That clarity, self-belief, confidence, pushing through the pain barrier. And that's what kept me going. And it's that likening of climbing a mountain to our lives and our lives in business that was the major theme in everything that I do now. So when we talk about the forward-thinking manifesto, when we talk about, the destiny map behind me there, everything's about climbing mountains. That's why I'm the Sherpa Guide and I'm not a coach, consultant or mentor. How many people have you met that said, yeah, I'm a business coach? You've gone, oh, fucking hell, another one. How many people have said, I'm a coach or a consultant or a mentor? It's like, oh my God, I'm none of those things, or I'm all of those things. I don't know. I'm a Sherpa Guide because I'm going to help people climb the mountains in the business and their lives. And you'll know more about this on Wednesday when I talk about the stuff that's bubbling at Forward Thinking HQ. So it all came together in the map, and my first live course was delivered on the 14th of February 2018, and since then it was a hard slog, but there were a couple of points in time when things really started to take shape. Meeting Dan Elson, digital guy, absolutely awesome. We're still working with him today, 18 months later. You know, without him, my business wouldn't exist. Excuse me. Still suffering from COVID. Right, that's clear. So, yeah, without him, my business wouldn't exist. He's absolutely amazing. And, yeah, we've just built and built and built. And, you know, in the last 2 years since I launched this, I've worked with over 300 businesses now. And those businesses, I've always wanted to work internationally. And seeing as though we can't really leave our houses so much at the moment, the international students have found me. So I've worked with 20 international companies from Tehran, from India, from Pakistan, from New Zealand, Australia, Albania. You know, that was always part of my plan. And, you know, loads of businesses in Lancashire and a lot of businesses nationwide throughout the UK. And it's been brilliant. And the results have been extraordinary. You know, and what makes me feel really happy about it all is the fact that I've created something from my experiences, my lived experiences of pain and pleasure, and I've created a way of working that demystifies and decomplicates how to run and grow a business, because we get so much information now. We get our friends and family telling us what to do or what not to do. You've got gurus on the internet all over the place, of which I'm one, allegedly. I'm not a guru, can't stand the word, but I am on the internet, you know, advising people how to build and grow the business. You know, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love what I do, because it's come from me, it's come from my experiences, and it's visual in nature, and it's a really simple process that you go through to ask yourself the questions that you never asked yourself before about your business, you know. And to have built something, to have created something myself, gives me an enormous feeling of fulfilment, and seeing the lives of the people that I work with change and evolve as a result of going through something that I've written and I've created myself is amazing. And it's that drives me forward. It's, you know, whilst, yes, I do make money, and that's a good component of what I do, it's not the overriding component. The overriding thing that I want to do is positively impact people's lives for the better in the work that I do. And I didn't get an opportunity so much, or I didn't even think of that. I was a different person back in my corporate career. That wasn't my primary goal. My primary goal was status. I wanted flash cars, and I wanted houses, I wanted money, and I wanted to be the man. But now all that just seems like bullshit. I want some nice things. I mean, that it would be wrong of me to say I didn't want some nice things. But what I want more than ever is for people to understand and respect me for wanting to create a positive impact, and knowing that I am creating a positive impact. And I am doing, and it's a great, great feeling. So that kind of brings us up to present day, really. You know, it's been a great journey, and it's been a great journey helping people. And out of those 300 businesses I've worked with, so many have experienced amazing results. You know, revenue growth, profit growth, new customer growth. But the biggest thing for them isn't just about the growth in terms of revenue and profit. The biggest thing has been about their psychology change, the transformation that's occurred in their head. Because I've helped change the way these people, my customers, my forward thinkers, think about their business and their future. And when that starts, then it changes the way you feel inside. And when you think differently, you feel differently, it affects the way you behave in your business. It affects the things that you do in order to take you forward, to take you to the place you want to be, top of your mountain. And that transformation that I see occur in the people that I work with, that's what I live for. It's not when the payment hits the bank account. It's not when someone says, yes, I'll do it, although that is a buzz. I love it when someone says, yeah, I'm going to do your course, Andrew. I can't wait. I love that. But actually what it is, it's when I see the person actually get that light bulb moment. And from that point, everything changes for them. And that is the reason why I do what I do, because it's that change that is profoundly fulfilling to anyone who is like me and who just wants to make a positive difference. You know, and along this journey as well, I found that I found myself searching for other avenues to explore how I can create more positive impact from my background and the work that I've done in the past. So I'm a trustee with several different charities. I've never bothered with charities before, but 3 years ago I joined at board level as a trustee several different charities, and I still work with them all today. Calico, Syncora, Acorn, you know, Gateway, You know, these are all charities that help people with drug and alcohol addiction problems, domestic violence, worklessness, homelessness, all sorts of things, young people and old people alike. And it helps me feel good by knowing that through my business intelligence and experience, I can help those charities create more social profit from thinking more in a business-like way and helping to capitalise on some of the opportunities that exist for them. So it's been a hugely enjoyable journey to here, and that's where I'm going to end today. I've been talking to you for quite a while. On Wednesday when I go live, I'm going to talk to you about exactly what I'm doing now, exactly what the forward-thinking movement and the forward-thinking platform is all about, and how you maybe want to get involved. Because I know if you're still watching, Ben's involved, Lee and Kirsty are involved, Dan Elson's involved, you know, Pete Walmsley's involved, Catherine Coughlin is involved, easy for me to say. And the more I grow, the more I talk about the mission to impact the lives of 1 million people, the more people are attracted by that, the more people want to join in and figure out how they can work with me to create more impact in the world, because it gives you a good feeling, right? If you do some good to others, for others, it gives you a really good feeling. And if we can get that feeling every single day, then the world's going to be a good place. Well, certainly for me and the people I work with anyway. So Wednesday I'm going to talk a bit more about what the Forward Thinker thing is all about and how you might be able to get involved. And then Friday I'm going to talk about the future. Where's it going? How does this business look if we're going to impact the lives of 1 million people? So I appreciate you listening. That's a bit of my backstory. If you've got any questions about that journey, or any of it resonates with you, please just hit me up in the comments or pick up the phone and let's have a chat. If you fancy getting involved in the mission to impact the lives of many, many people across the world, then please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And that's it. So that's a bit of my origin story. Wednesday is going to be a bit more about where we are now and the extent in which we're growing. And Friday is going to be more about the future. So that was Sherpa Guidance episode 43. Who is Andy Henderson? It's been great to talk to you, and have a great day, and I'll speak to you all on Wednesday, if not before. If you like my content, if you want to know more about who I am, what I do, please let me know in the comments. Thanks a lot, guys, and just remember, you're just one step away.